back, secret chapter agents. So the mystery is starting to unfold, and it is doing it at a pace that is just remarkable. We are on day 15. That means, look at all that. Okay, that means it is chapter 15 after Santa was tricked. Oh, okay. Let me slide that off. There we go. Day 15. And, you know, our big theme of this chapter was about borrowing bravery. I'll tell you what I mean by that in a little bit. So I feel like in Josephine, when she was acting like Jo or Josephine, before she became Duchess, she was doing science maybe in an elfish way, because she was applying science to magic, and the elves do that. So I'm left with another question, because this is just peculiar. And if we go to page 223 and 24, okay, we've got, so I built a generator that would be compatible with our neural pathways, and then that would do some things and some stuff. And of course then her colleagues called it a brain box to try and make her look dumb or fantastical. But to me, I put it in my notes there, that it sounds like she's doing some elf science. So let's see, people flew from all over the world to show up, and it was a disaster. Now here's where I kind of get into that magic part. So she's hooking it up and not much is happening. And she says, oh, I got a couple of sparks into my helmet, but I just didn't believe it could work. Not with all those people watching. And with the spangles, if you don't believe, then there is no magic. Okay, and then over on to 224. Nothing was generated, but something did happen. A spark burnt the tip of my nose and startled me. I bumped the generator, sloshed some gel onto the stage, slipped in the puddle, and knocked over the whole thing, drenching the first 3 rows. That reminds me of SeaWorld, when you go to see the killer whale show, you know, and you if you don't mind getting wet, you choose to sit in the front rows so that you can get splashed by the orcas. That reminded me of that. And so, continuing on, Duchess laughed bitterly. It was comical anyway. I'm sure you know all that. So, this is where the belief, you know, again, she's measuring it and trying to figure that out. So I have a feeling that there's something more there. And then there's that whole, her veins were glowing. Oh, that's before that, just a slight bit. Where is that? Oh, because Duchess usually wore fingerless gloves or long frilly sleeves. So she didn't notice Duchess's gold veins were golden veins. Interesting. Why did they turn gold? That's weird. Okay, so then I kind of thought about this also, because this kind of is reminiscent in a slight way, not direct correlation. It's not a direct connection, but it's rather close. Dafydd, he was super career focused, and he did whatever it would take. So Jo kind of seems that she was focused at all costs, and she forgot what was so important, which was the humans that she was doing this for, and she tried to trick Santa. And it almost worked, it looks like. But again, she forgot the important things. So then there's also this little bit of connection here. Like Juniper, she knew what she was doing was wrong. She knew to trick somebody it was doing something bad, and yet she still went ahead and did it. And it seems to have caused a course of reactions. But maybe it was all for good. We'll find out. So Duchess, nearly puts her family's lives on the line. And of course, they're upset. They're disappointed with her behavior. And, after time of dealing with this obsession, that's what he called it. Dafydd, he called it was an obsession. After dealing with that, they got her put in a mental institution, a mental hospital. And so she sat there for a while. As she said, she doesn't know really, while she was there, she didn't know how long she was there. So when she escaped, she decided that she would become a character from one of her favorite books when she was a child. And that would give her some kind of freedom. So this is where my little bravery thing comes in. So sometimes we need to borrow bravery because we don't have it ourselves. So by imagining herself as a character and acting as if she could use the character Duchess's bravery and move forward in life. However, there was still the shadow self, the part of her that was true, that knew it was that this Duchess character that she was living like wasn't the real her. And this is some of the reasons why she was lacking connection to people, and also potentially one of the reasons why she was homeless. Because if she can't put on anything what her real name is, because she's so ashamed, and that she might end up having to go back to the mental institution, then she can't apply for housing and she can't get a job, because all of those things need a real name with a government issued ID. So she had to stay homeless in some sense because she couldn't face up to who she had become. That's very interesting. But by being Duchess, she did create some self-confidence to bring in some bravery that she needed to help Juniper. So borrowing it for a short time could be helpful. But for the long haul, maybe wasn't a good idea. Okay, so then we have our Mr. Carnegie showing up at the door, and he says he knows they were lying the whole time. How did he know? Does that mean he intentionally overlooked the lie so that he could do the misdeeds? Okay, that leads me to our one question today for chapter 15. My one question is, can humans study magic based in science? Is that something only magical humans can do? Or does it have to be because they believe? So, is it because they believe in magic they can study magic? Or do they have to be magical humans to study magic in a scientific way? That is the question. I'm curious what your answers are. I have a million, but I obviously don't know the answer yet. But that's why we keep our notes and put them in our journals, so that way we can keep track of them and see what happens at the conclusion. And I will see you tomorrow, Secret Chapter Agents.